Hello and welcome. So today I wanted to try to show you guys how I do my landscapes. So recently, first of all, I live in Jersey. So in here we have a very variant weather, which means like sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's very sunny, sometimes it's very hot. It's a very interesting weather because of so many trees that we do have. And I don't know, like I looked in the horizon. I was actually getting some art materials at a store, and I looked and I just find it so calming at the same time. And I really like this area here because it was like the changing of reddish, kind of like a purplish tone. You see the orange on this side. This is not the greatest picture, um, obviously, but I just thought, I don't know, it looked beautiful, and I like the wetness on the street and everything. Kind of just, I just felt like I needed to have it. So I actually took this from my phone and I printed on a regular printer, and this is what you see right here. So this is the actual, just gonna stay there for a little bit. If you were to follow along, then I'm going to just leave it there for a bit so you can copy or snap it, so you can snap the picture in case you need one. Okay, I'm going to put this on the side because I'm going to be working. This is the paper that I'm actually using. I'm sure that you've probably seen it. This is Cold Press Arts. It's actually very good paper. Sometimes what I don't like is that it kind of just leaves me with um, I like it doesn't allow me to make as many mistakes because I feel like it's hard on the lifting, and I do work with a lot into wet. So when you're working a lot with wet areas and you're adding a lot of dark blues or purples, then you have to be careful. So I'm not gonna go crazy here, adding every single detail, but I do want to mark the part of the sky that I don't want to be kind of like, I want to separate it, and we're going to also mark part of the clouds in here because I want that to come out. And then we're going to lower the picture. We're going to lower it a little bit so we don't have to deal too much with details. So I'm lowering the picture on the paper, and I'm gonna do the trees. I like that the trees are like one bigger, one smaller. So maybe that's why I found it interesting. And then I'm going to omit the car as of now. Not sure if later on it will fit into the picture, but for now, this is what we're going to focus on. And of course, just want to leave this space for the trees. And you notice that I'm not really like creating every single sketch precisely. I'm just kind of just giving me a chance to, that's the part that I want to mark because this is gonna have a different, it's gonna have a different tone, okay? All right, I think watercolor paper, as long as it's a good paper, it will allow you to lift, except arcs. So you have to be patient and just try to jot down the colors. So for that, I'm going to get a piece of paper, which I have here, and this is gonna be kind of like my scrap, so I can use it as my map, right, basically. So instead of doing it this way, just gonna try to put it here. I don't know if it fits here, so I want you guys to actually look at the picture a little closer to me. Just leave it there. Since I'm starting something new, like a landscape, I actually clean my palette. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using. This is Russia Blue. Okay. I'm gonna use, of course, my favorite, which is cerulean blue. I'm going to use green. And I think with the purple, I can do red or orange. Let me see. I'm gonna use this orange right here. And this one is Scarlet Lake. And I think with these three, I'm gonna use a little bit of yellow, but the yellow, you have to be careful. Let me see if I can have a lighter one. Does not turn too much orange. This one right here. This is the perfect one. It's lemon yellow. It does have a hint of green, so you have to be careful. Let me see. This one is better. This is cadmium yellow, okay? So I'm just gonna put it on my palette here. Just gonna add my colors. And scarlet red. I actually love reds, but we're gonna use this blue. I think I have enough of this one. Just add a little bit more. Okay. And my Persian blue. Just leave it here. And I think that's it. I'm gonna leave this green for last. This is very, very, very strong green, but I might have to mix it in with some yellow. With some black. Let me just make sure that everything is accessible. We're gonna try here something in there. Hopefully I don't mess up the paper. And try here the colors that I think that they will look good with each other. So I'm trying the Peruvian blue and the cerulean blue together, and they match perfectly. So that's what I want. And then I'm gonna come here and add the yellow to this corner here. So you see how this is gonna come out once you add the colors. And I needed that to see first. So right on the spot that I kind of just marked, I'm just gonna add my yellow. When you're painting specifically landscapes, you have to be careful not to mix yellow with blue because obviously it's gonna turn green. So we're just gonna leave that spot there, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of yellow on the top, right there. I think that over here. Not too much because I'm gonna do some clouds. Okay. I'll try and show you the whole painting. Gonna change the color now, which is some blue. I'm using softer brush. It's not a flat brush, but it's fine. And we're going to do kind of like that wispy of the clouds. Just gonna try my best to keep it there so you can see. Probably my hand is gonna be on the way, but I think that will allow you still to see some of the process. And so I kind of just created my wash there, and then I'm going to start wisping the sky, and then right where these two meet, I'm going to stop. Okay, because you don't want the yellow to be mixed with the blue, and that's the part that sometimes it's difficult. Remember that there's going to be some parts of some wisping, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. Of course I have to notice that I haven't touched that yellow. I think this is the difficult part right here. It's kind of like in between. And then right here, we'll just right there. We'll add some red. And we're going to add it here. Lower this just a tiny bit. Okay. So seems like there's like far away mountains, etc. I'm just gonna draw them here. But I'm gonna wet this one. Basically just attach it to the other. Okay? And then I'm going to open like a space for the trees right in the middle. Oops, sorry. Kind of like right there. I'm gonna do another one here. And remember that everything is kind of like wet, so you can drag with you. I'm still using the same Russian blue and that blue. Just kind of like mimicking the wetness of the street. And this is the bottom part. gonna add some green, very little, to the bark over here. Of course, we're just gonna do, later on we're gonna okay. I'm ready. Part of that green, I'm just gonna add it here. Okay, we're gonna go back to the sky, and I'm going to kind of just make that cloud a little bit more noticeable. Just gonna come here, and I'm basically just gonna wisp. And you can do it that way too. Not everywhere, but right above that yellow. Okay, so I'm not touching the yellow as of now. Still gonna do again with my blue. And since it was raining and I kind of just feel like the atmosphere and everything was kind of like all gloomy, I'm going to get some black. So I'm just gonna make sure I keep my water pretty clean and just add a little bit of red. You see, I'm basically just going over with some red. It makes that a really nice sky. And that will also help with the rest of the trees. I know it doesn't look like much right now because everything is kind of just starting, but once you're done with the picture, you see that it all makes sense. For now, you're gonna have, well, for now we're gonna let this to dry. And I'll come back and show you how to do some white spaces here. Not everywhere, but whatever you have a chance to leave white or light, right in the middle, right here. And there's also here, there. That will help the painting. And then this area right here, we're just gonna swift it. Just make it like sky in there. Top part. Okay. So I'm going to unify that yellow in there. So this area right here is pretty dry. I'm going to change my brush, make sure that I clean it up. We're gonna get a round. This round will work. Just gonna take a look at the trees because I feel that's very important. We're gonna get some really dark green, which is the green that I was actually saving right here. This one. Okay, so now that everything has been dried up, because I actually had to let it dry, we're gonna do some, just wanna make sure that brush is not all wobbly, because sometimes they fall and they detach from the tube thing, from the handle. So I'm going to try my best to accommodate all of this. So we're gonna start doing the trees, and I'm going to get, part of that dark green. Just gonna put it right there where that blue is. A little bit of black. And then I'm going to start doing the trees. So from the bottom up, there's one here. Okay, and then we're gonna try not to mess too much with the stand, so you can see how I'm actually doing this. So I don't know if it's because it's an iPhone. The colors are a little less pastel. I'm actually not using dark colors except now. So I noticed that when is, just gonna put it here on the camera, even my skin looks darker. But anyways, it is what we have. And I'm going to do the top part. And you notice how I'm actually just checking in with the, kind of just do like, okay. Where's the green again? We're gonna do green and yellow, and we're gonna do parts here that are green. Because even though it's not right on the picture, it's mainly dark, we're gonna put that green in because it's good for the foliage. I'm gonna do another one. Gonna add some dark. Okay. And then there's another tree. I'm just gonna do it a little smaller right here. Gonna use it a little bit more water in the middle. Notice that I used different texture of color. Perhaps we can do, okay, I'll leave the middle for now, just like that. And then I'm gonna do further here. And then we're gonna do 3 more here. Get my yellow. Because they're small, I'm just gonna cross it over here. Gotta be careful with this thing. Gonna do more yellow here. Wait. Okay. So the most important part here is to kind of just make the trees, and then I'm just gonna put into wet some parts of it. A little darker here, so I'm just gonna take my black. Gonna do the same thing here. Okay. And then this one right here. Gonna get a little bit of yellow. And we're gonna do some branches, so that's gonna make it more tree-like. So right now they don't look like trees, right? And also a little bit of the details. Okay, so if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okie dokie. Now I'm gonna get another brush. Where my napkin is, right here. Get another brush. The flat one, this one right here. Just gonna add just tiny bit, of that cerulean blue. Gonna do a wash, and I'm gonna use it here. Gonna lower it. And even though I'm actually doing it over, not touching the trees, just going over. And over here, the handles hit the stand, fortunately. I'm just gonna squiggle a little bit over here. Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna take my brush, and I really want that yellow to come out, so I'm just gonna okay. Right there. And I think we're good. I'm gonna do the line here for the back of it. Just gonna get some green right here. Remember that we were doing like mountains and stuff like that? It's like the back end. Just gonna and then there's like a right where this tree is, I'm just gonna Of course, we're not doing everything, but part of it, right? Remember that we're gonna do so you can tell that there's like a street or something going that way. I'm also gonna do part of the street here, and we're gonna start adding some dark blue right there. That's green actually, I'm sorry. Where is the blue? Right here. Because this is gonna be our wet scenery. I might need the bottled water, but I'm gonna try and manage it without it. There, I think the little spaces that you leave, this is tree shadow right here. There's some. Some green. Okay, so my phone is actually out of battery. Excuse me. We're gonna add some darks here and there. I like to do a lot of texture with the brush. That's just me, just to make it look. We're gonna lower this a little bit because, okay. Then we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do some more details. So up to now, it's looking okay. I don't know if you can tell. Trees in the picture are more darker, but of course, we're painting. You don't have to do things exactly as you see. But I also want to convey the reason why I decided to paint it. Okay, I was very happy because I was actually getting some materials that day. I was telling my husband and I needed some paper. He was like, no, go ahead. And then it started raining and I was like, oh great. But you gotta make or learn how to make lemonade, huh? So I said one day I'm gonna be using this picture and forget about everything that happened. By the way, same day, there was something going on the street. They were doing something, redoing something, and as soon as I went through the main route, I encountered traffic. So it took me about 2 hours, by the way, to get there, and then now I remember very well. I gotten there, and of course, it started raining, so I'm like, great. So I took my phone and inhale, exhale, took a picture of it. Just gonna do some little trees on the background. Some really dark tones here. Then I have to be very careful and show where the shadow is really coming from, because right now we don't see nothing. So. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do some more foliage. Usually I see people using this one. I don't know how I feel about this one. Feels too much of a mess. Maybe for acrylics. I've seen people doing beautiful things with that brush. Fan brush is called. I don't do too much beautiful things with the fan brush with watercolors. But I've seen people doing it, so just gonna put some yellow here. So I love this combo yellow. It's just very rich green. Gonna put it in both sides over here too. Gives it a nice contrast to the painting as well. So. And then right here. Just dot, 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 dot. Okay. I have to have like a point in the middle where this painting can marry itself, because it can be is judged. So I want to kind of like make it viewable. Okay. I'm gonna do more yellow on this side too. More yellow here. Okay. I'm gonna do a line because that's where the streets ended, I guess. And then there's another. Coming from here, so that's where you see the shadow. We're gonna add one more. You can tell that there was water all over. This is cerulean blue that I'm using, and right over here we're gonna make a passage. Do the same thing. So it's very dry, this brush. Doing nice reflections there. Okay. I'm gonna step back and then just gonna swift just a little bit here. Gonna make it together there. Just a little bit of red will kill it. Pinkish color actually. Make it nice purple. You can see on the back of it. That's the part that I like about watercolors. Gonna get the cerulean blue again, and we're gonna marry those two colors there. Okay, so I think everything looks good. Just doing those soft Remember to be careful when you're doing that. Sometimes people prefer to do black because it's a neutral color, but we'll manage here. To be cerulean. Okay. I don't know if I should add a little bit more red so we can see that color going through. Let me see, where's the flat brush again? Gonna wet that area so like that I don't do, oops, that's not the flat brush. Gonna wet it right here. Can get some pink color actually. Right there. Okay. I think that completes my sky. We're gonna use some black color for this area. Just try to mimic if it was there. Maybe the same thing here for this tree. And then this wall connects to this one, so okay, so we're going to do one more layer to make sure black, make sure that it allows to dry a little darker. This is never gonna dry dark, but it's okay. You don't want to paint into dark either, but I think it's for me. This is enough. And lower a little bit here. There's one branch that I really want to do from this tree. Gotta be careful how I do certain things. Not too many lines because it's just gonna become very obvious. I continue dabbing here. I don't think I'm the greatest landscape painter, but at least you get an idea, right? I like my trees with a lot of foliage. So, yeah. While I was talking to my husband, I hit the phone stand and it kind of did a small dent there, but we can survive. Just gonna do a little bit of shadow. I'll do the same thing here. Lovely. So I think we're gonna let it be. I want to thank you for watching. Sorry about my hand being on the middle. And We could lower a little bit if we wanted to, the trees, but I think that's fine. For now, we're just gonna leave it alone. Notice that I didn't give all of them. Some are more taller, some more skinnier. I don't know. It's understandable. Just gonna more a little bit of cosmetical here and there because it's a little bit obvious that I have some lapse and gonna get darker here. Okay. Here. And I'm gonna leave it alone. Unfortunately, my water is very, very, very green. I have to make sure that these corners are not so on my face. Same thing here. And same thing here. Alrighty, I hope that you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. I actually, when I tap the the brush, little spits here and there, but we can fix that later on. All right.